the Green Party. James Whale, good evening to you.
Hi, Kirsty. You can't see me at the moment because it's all gone funny, but never mind. It might come back in a few moments.
Well, we can hear you. And I just want to say that surely you would welcome a big push towards recycling. I mean, don't you want to save the world?
Oh, really? And the world is going to be saved by all of us recycling. It's a joke, Kirsty. It's a joke. If this planet can be saved by me driving a measly little girly car, or by me putting my newspapers in a green bin, then I might consider it. But of course it can't. It is not going to make a jot of difference. Climate change, I don't like to talk about global warming. Climate change is a natural, normal phenomenon, and it is going to continue whatever anyone does.
You're up against this, Shanberry. Not only are you up against such vehement beliefs, but also there's rubbish dumped all over the place in many of these councils. Now, how is that environmentally sound?
I do have some sympathy for the people moaning about the fact that they've been moved on to fortnightly collections. A lot of it is panic measures by the councils. The landfill tax is going to go up by a third next year. They have to do something about it. If there had been better planning, if they'd put recycling in place beforehand, encourage people to do it, they wouldn't be having to do this now. In Europe, they're way ahead of us. We're way behind. They're managing to recycle, beat us on all our targets, and not do fortnightly recycling.
Jason, do you think your Talk Sport listeners agree with you?
Well, everybody agrees with me. This woman is talking complete rubbish. In Europe, they don't at all. In France, I know France quite well, you get your bins emptied twice a week. And if the day that they empty the bins happens to fall on Christmas Day, which it did where I was this Christmas, they come and they empty the bins on Christmas Day. In fact, rather than having my bins emptied every 2 weeks, which is what I've now been forced to have, which I'm not going to put up with, by the way, for much longer, I think we should have our bins emptied twice a week. It would make a lot more sense. And if they want to recycle, Kirsty, take the rubbish to the local prison and let the prisoners do the recycling.
Yeah, isn't the problem that it's all very well to say that there's only going to be a bin collection every fortnight, but unlike in other European countries, the mechanism for dealing with your rubbish is really not up to the task in most areas.
Yeah, absolutely. The councils are playing catch-up, and they shouldn't be doing that. I mean, rather than campaigning against fortnightly bin collections, what I think James here should be doing is campaigning for better recycling services, campaigning for food waste to be collected and composted, because that will do away with a lot of the problems that people have been talking about. That's what Greens do, and that's actually what Greens bring in when we get elected to the council.
Do you think Green councillors are a good idea?
I don't think green anything is a good idea. The green is the sort of thing that comes out of your nose, isn't it? I really don't think green is a good idea for anything. Listen, I don't mind if she wants to do... Listen, if she wants to do all this recycling, you let her do the recycling she wants to. Some of us have lives and don't have the time to do it. Now, if I'm going to recycle my rubbish, I want a significant reduction in my council tax, and then I may consider doing it. And I tell you this, Kirsty, if these local politicians and the national politicians think they're going to ride roughshod over the people of this nation much longer, they have another thing coming. We won't stand for it.
Do you believe in actually a carrot rather than a stick for recycling? That in fact you believe that James Whale is right?
Absolutely. In Germany, there's no compulsion. They have weekly weekly bin collections, and the recycling is done by people voluntarily because it's easy.
Is there something wrong with James Whale's attitude? He's
completely losing sight of the fact that it's very, very important that we reduce our waste, which is another issue, reducing the amount we produce in the first place, and recycle more. We can't just live under a mountain of rubbish.
Well, without kind of advocating any kind of civil disobedience, James Whale, what do you think people should do to express their objections if they don't believe that the bin collection is sufficient, nor do they believe their recycling is sufficient?
OK, well, what we should do first of all is we should go out next Thursday and we should vote. The French have just had a massive turnout in their election. We should have a huge turnout in this local election. I don't care who people vote for as long as they go out and vote. And if an enormous turnout happens, then the people who wish to be politicians and wish to put themselves in positions of public servitude will have to look to their laurels, because we will all be keeping an eye on them. The trouble is, in this country, we've got a little bit lazy. We don't think it makes a difference. And now we find ourselves being faced with the people who try to control us. If you put the wrong wrong thing in the wrong bin, you're going to get fined. We're going to send some snotty bloke round from the council. Not long ago, I found a bloke with a clipboard looking inside my bin.
Thank you very much indeed, James. Well, I'm sure you will go out and vote and exhort everybody else to vote too. Shan, thank you very much too.